Ready to go?
Ready, yeah.
Nothing on my tie?
Nothing.
Not today?
Not this week, no.
Okay. Good evening, my Rabbi Chaim. Welcome to a special edition of Zera Shimshon with Maharal together. There's one Shiur. This is Le'iloi Nishmas, the Tana Rabbi Chaim Kanievski on his yard site. We don't want to say the name of the day yet because we haven't davened Ma'ariv, so be careful. We haven't read this. We haven't said the Omer yet. It's being sponsored, hosted by my dear friend Reb Mendy Feinsag, and for Le'iloi Nishmas, his Rebbitzin Zechrono Levracha, Ginendel Basra Pesach, whose yard site is coming up on Chav Gimel Iyar. The neshama should have an aliyah, and she should be a meilet yoisha for her ganze mishpacha and zivugim bekara by your kinderlach.
Amen.
Also, my dear friend Shmuel Burech, Rabbi Chaim Kanievski, whose yard site was today. Shmili Solomon, a Gita Chaver and a Chavrusa, we learned Maharal together. Should be Lila Nishmosai. I want to ask the Oilam Akasha. We'll begin with Akasha. How many times in the culture of Judaism, in Klal Yisrael, do we sing about a person other than Reb Shimon Bar Yochai? Bar Yochai nimshachto ashrecho. We sing about him. Moshe Emes is Sayrosei Emes. Do we what? David Melech is but we just say, but we don't extol the virtues. Yeah, but
A big song.
yeah, I don't know if that counts.
Right. Shoshanas Yaakov?
Shoshanas Yaakov is Mordechai went out. You're not singing about Mordechai, are you?
I don't know.
Are you?
After a few drinks,
You should know. You should know. If you're coming to this year, that much you should know. You should know. How many people do we sing a whole chorus after chorus after chorus about this? Nase Odom Nemar Ba'avarecha.
That's the key chorus.
Nase Odom. When the Eibishter said Nase Odom, the Malachim said Al Yibora. He shouldn't be created. And yet we can say Nase Odom, Reb Shimon, it's worth creating man to have someone like you. Nase Odom. Lomer Redden, let's discuss tonight the Zera Shimshon and Nase Odom. And we'll have a chance, Be'ez Hashem, also to see how Talmidei Rabbi Akiva were poigim in the Nase Odom. And that's why they were nifter in this time. They were poigim in the Etzem Odom, and that's why they were nifter with the type of Misa called Askara that goes against the breathing, which is the Shoirish Odom Vayipach Ba'ap of Nishmas Chaim. This is tonight's sugya of the Zera Shimshon. The Nase Odom Nemar Ba'avarecha. And the Chanlena Bislaveg and David HaMelech also. Zug the Heilige Zera Shimshon letter Chav Hey. Please join me if you have a sefer, or if not, just listen in. Medrash Yalkut Apasik Oz Amarti Hine Ba'asi B'Sefer. The Medrash says that David HaMelech realized Oz, as we'll soon see a lotion of Oz Yashir. Oz, he saw Ba'ati, I am, Ba'asi, I came in the Sefer. Amar David V'nei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kisaftani B'Sifrei Shel Adam Arishon. You have inscribed me in the book of Adam Arishon. V'lefichach ani tzorach loymar shira lefanecha. I feel obligated, says David HaMelech, I feel achroi, that I must say shira. I must sing your praises. The fact that I am in David HaMelech, in Adam Arishon Sefer, I am inscribed in his book, I must say shira. As I said to Medrash, Shenemar Oz Amarti, Ve'ein Oz Ela Shira, Shenemar Oz Yashir Moshe. So therefore, I have to say Shira. Amosai, and when shall this Shira come out? La'osid Lavai, Shenemar Shiru LaHashem Shir Chodosh. Or like we say, Shiru Chadosha Shibchu Geulim, that will sing a Shira Chadosha. V'hu Tamua. Frek the Zera Shimshon probably the basic and obvious question. V'chi b'shvil shenichta b'sifra shel Adam Harishon yechuyev leimer shira. Why does David HaMelech feel obligated, mechuyav? Why does he feel that he has to say shir just because he's in the book of Adam Harishon? Many tzaddikim were in the book of Adam Harishon, and they didn't have the same and feel the same obligation. Take a look what he says. V'alei kol hashoiftim v'chol hatzadikim nichtavu b'sifra shel Adam Harishon. Like it says in the Medrash, al posik zeh toldei so Adam. Melamed sheher la Kadosh Baruch Hu la Adam Harishon dar dar v'shoiftav dar dar v'manhigav v'chachamav. All the great people, the great leaders of all the generations, from Adam Harishon till Mashiach Tzidkeinu v'meher v'yameinu, every shofet, every tzaddik, every chacham is in that book. And David is one of them, of course.
But he's a Gilgul.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. And he's not a Gilgul the way... We're going to qualify what you're saying, Reb David.
What do you mean Sefer? Literally a Sefer.
Ken. Zeh Sefer Toldos Adam. Kilu. Ken. Umay Uma de David Yosef Meshar Tzadikim. Bezoyer HaKadosh Katuv. Tonight's the night to read Zohar. We're going to see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Adam Harishon the Sefer Rizil HaMalach. As Zohar state in the Zohar, which we're going to learn from momentarily. He had it, and after he sinned, he lost it. And then it was given back to him. So, Adam Harishon Hayalo Sfarim. Zeh Sefer Toldos Adam. In his Sefer, listen, all the leaders came from him. So he was zoicha to see his yotzei chalatzav, those who came from him. But the question that the Zera Shimshon, that's the question we want to focus on for a minute. Why did David HaMelech feel more achroi, responsible, mechuyev, to say shir is just because him more than anybody else? Why is that his job? And the teretz is, as we're soon going to see, because it is taka his job. V'yubim ad isav medrash. From the first day, from the day of creation, miyom harishon shel habriya, from the first day of the bria until Klal Yisrael, 26 generations later, at Yamsuf said Shira Ulaymatzinu Adam Sha'amar Shira LaHakadosh Baruch Hu Ela Yisrael. No one had said Shira up until that time. Bara Adam, and let's go through a list of people. That's right. Bara Adam, Amar Shira. Hitzil Avram Avinu Mekivshana Eish Umehamelachim. He had two very, very miraculous. He was saved twice. Kivshana Eish. Malachim, he fought against armies of people, hundreds of thousands. Lo Amar Shira. Yitzchak was untied from the Ma'acheles. Vatikachas HaMa'acheles l'shoichta. Lo Amar Shira. Yaakov, Mahamalach, Me'esav, Mishchem, V'lo Amar Shira. Kivan Shebo Yisrael, Amar Shira. So we're extolling that Klal Yisrael, Oz, Yashir, Moshe, and interestingly enough, Rabbi Isai, Klal Yisrael said it together. It was a Ruach HaKodesh that every one of the Yidden am gesagt zusammen. Oz, Yashir, Moshe, B'nai Yisrael, they had a Ruach HaKodesh, and they said it K'ish Echad. And that's the first time in Israel, that's what's so important about Oz, Yashir, and we say it every single day. Ba'af medrash zeh yesh l'dayik. Ma'ayin bo chiyav loy mashir la'adam harishon. Asks the Zera Shimshon. So I'm understanding that saying Shira is very, very important. It's critical. There's a taina. There's a taina on Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. There's a taina on everybody. We know Chizkiyahu HaMelech. For those of you who remember the Daf Yomi, not so long ago. He could have been Mashiach. Ata zocher meir. Lama lo haya Mashiach? Hu lo amar Shira. Yafeh mod. He didn't say Shira. Ata zocher tov. He didn't say Shira. And the Oretz said, I'll say Shira for him. And the Eibishter said, no, he has to say Shira. If he would have been Mashiach. Steht in Yene Gemara that the Tikkun Ha'olam comes with Shira. Vosidos. What is that? Vostutzach.
Mashiach has to sing Shira?
We're getting there. Bishleima la'avois. Bishleima, asked the Zera Shimshon, why? Bishleima la'avois naslem nes. Hayachavim la'hoidois. Adam, excuse me. Avos HaKadoshim, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, as he just mentioned, they all had miracles that happened to them. They had Avram Avinu, like we said, Kivshon Eish, Yitzchak from the Maharal, from Yaakov Avinu, fighting with a Malach, Shem, etc. They had Nisim. Aber Adam Arishan Loinas Eloi Shum Nes. Nes. Why should he say Shira? Man, why should I think so? The teretz is as follows, and this is the side. V'isa b'medrash ala pasuk yikavu hamayim v'seiroya hayabosha. The world was water everywhere. Hayamayim umitum. Everywhere there was water. On day 2, and then on day 3, the Eibishter said yikavu hamayim v'seiroya hayabosha. Zog the medrash. The praise of the Eibishter came from water. Like it says, Mikoilois mayim rabim adirim. Adir b'amorim Hashem. The mayim had gezok shira. If the mayim was going to be mifanem makom, you know what that means? If it was making space for other things, that means what replaced the water has to also pick up the slack and say shira too. If the water is being displaced and it was saying shira, Omar HaKadosh Baruch Hu im elu she'ein lahem lo peh v'lo dibur v'lo yamira kach mikalsim oisi kishe'evra adam achas kama v'kama. Wait till you see what man does. Man who has the capacity to bring the mekalis the Eibishter. Avdem, says the Zera Shimshon, you know what this medrash is telling us? Mashma mizeh she'odom lo nivra ela b'shvil she'yekales la'kadosh baruch hu. A person was created to give praise to the Eibishter. It's like he's being an ingrate. He's not showing gratitude. He's not singing the praises of the Eibishter. Why didn't he say Shira? Which means that the Medrash is teaching us a big chiddush. You don't have to have a miracle to happen to you to say thank you to the Eibishter. Just living life and having things going normal. You got up, you can see, you can stand. Zog Shira. He didn't do it, Adam Arishan. It is nicht getan, and that's a tain on him. For the basics, not for the miracles. For the tog teglach, yom yomi. Every day you get up. Zog Shira, say thank you. You know who was metaking this? Ubeshirei David avdecha nahalelcha. Ubeshirei David avdecha nahalelcha. With the shiras of David. Before we get to there, I just want to explain one more nekuda I heard from my Rebbe, Zera Shimshon, a Zera Shimshon nekuda. There is no one or nothing in the world that's able to give kvoid shamayim other than a human being. Only a person can give kavod to Hashem. You know why? Because he's the one who has the choice not to give kavod. Because he does it because he wants to. He has the bechira, exactly. An animal, was versteht er? If he does give kavod, it's because it's natural. The mayim gives kavod because it's natural. A malach gives kavod because he has such brirus. He has nothing else. He has to give kavod. There's no choice. Giving kavod means I'm not interested in listening, but I'm going to do it anyway. Why? Because I want to give kavod. That's emes kavod. Emes kavod comes from the bechira chofshi. Then look at this person. Look! He's listening because he wants to. You want to daven, not you have to daven. Avadu, you might have to daven, but don't do it because you have to. Do it because you want to. Ezu tefila, ezu avodah shebelei, ba'avadetem, right, b'chol levavchem. Ezu tefila, u'la'avdoi b'chol levavchem. Because you want to. That's called tefila. Shira is gematria 515, which is gematria veschanon, which is gematria tefillah. Shira is a form of tefillah, of connecting to the Eibishter. When you let yourself get picked up, you're not just praying, you're singing the praises of the Eibishter. The Amru b'Sefer HaZoyer. Let's move over to the Zoyer HaKadosh. The Amru l'Sefer, so this is what Eli mentioned earlier. It's what David mentioned. Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach, Baruch Hashem, the new Sefer is in the printer already. It's already been typeset. We have a whole section on David HaMelech, Be'ez Hashem. And one of the chidushim that we find over there is what we're going to see now in the Zoyer HaKadosh, and what the Zera Shimshon discusses. When Adam Arishon, Heraleh HaKadosh Baruch Hu Adam Dar V'Darshav, he showed them all of the darshanim, all the leaders. Heralei malachim shasidim lamed al Yisrael, all the kings. Kivan shegir David ra oiseng noilad umeis, being born and dying. We talked about this once. Being born and dying. How long would David HaMelech have lived? 3 hours. 3 hours. Amar, Adam Arishon said, Mishanim deli oizevlei. From my years I shall give him. Nigru me'adam v'nitlu leDavid. Tavegenumen, lakhu, horidu. They reduced 70 years. Valze Omer David, ki simachtani Hashem b'fo'alecha. I'm happy with your po'alecha, with what you did. B'masa yadecha ranen. You know I'm happy with your po'alecha and your masadech. I'm talking about Adam Arishon. Who pa'alta, you made him, and you said nasa Adam. Dainu Adam Arishon. Who goyim le Simcha shani chai. He's the reason that I'm alive. Mem iber gezogt. We said over. The difference qualitatively between David HaMelech and every other human being on the world. Everyone is a Yotze Chalotzov, could even be a Gilgul, but being a Gilgul or being a Yotze Chalotzov doesn't subtract years from the giver. Person could live 120 years. We'll call him Ruvain. He didn't finish his job, so his neshama comes back down in someone else, so he should do it. But the first person doesn't lose years. He just didn't do his job. That's not what happened by Adam. Adam reduced his years, which means that Adam, he did it himself, and only he could do it, because it was his years. Which means that Adam and David were shutfim. No one else in the world is a shutif with Adam Harishon. They're the descendants of Adam Harishon. They're the Yotzei Chalotzav of Adam Harishon. David HaMelech didn't just come from mankind, he's a partner with mankind, which gives him a ma'amad, which gives him a plateau that no one else in the world has. I told you over this story in Bridgeport, when I was once given the job of giving a benediction, giving a blessing to the new mayor. Back then it was the second term Bill Finch for the mayor of Bridgeport. So there was a tekes, there was an event. Right? Ceremony, thank you. There was a ceremony in city chamber. 300 people there, all ethnicities, every alek, every color. Everybody under the rainbow was there. And I was the last speaker. I'm giving a brocha. And I said I wanted to give him a blessing from the words of Tehillim. I'm fluent in Tehillim in Lashon HaKodesh. I'm very not fluent in Tehillim in English. I don't usually read it in English. But as I got up to start reading some of Tehillim, all those people in the stand, they knew it faster than I could. I couldn't get the words out. Afterwards, I left and I said, what happened over here? I'm sitting in my car afterwards. How did they know? And you know what I realized? That more people can quote verbatim David HaMelech in this planet than any other person in the world. He is probably the most quoted person. Do you know where that comes from? Because he's a shutif with the life of Adam HaRishon. His koyach is a koyach from Adam HaRishon. No, but Avram Avinu, B'shul Avram Nivra Olam, B'shul Avram Avada. And there are so many Abrahams in the world. Abrahams, by the Muslims, by this, you're right. But now, how many quote him? Meret v'David HaMelech. He became the Dabar. He became the Dabar of the world. Do you know what that means? That's why he's the father of Mashiach. That's why it's the Shiach ben David. The Mashiach is 3,000 years old? No. The Koyach of David to be Mamshech, Adam's life, is where Mashiach comes from. Says the Zera Shimshon, therefore, v'yadeinu, we know Shenotrikin, the abbreviation for Adam is Adam, David, Mashiach. Aleph, Daled, Mem. Adam, David, Mashiach. Sha'olam no'at sofo betchilaso be'emtzato. V'im kein nishmas Adam v'David hakol echad ki neshama achas lahem. This neshama of Adam HaRishon, pay attention, Rabbi Isai. The neshama of Adam HaRishon is koilel, the entire mankind. He started as the source of all creation, and with David and Mashiach, he's going to bring them all back to one. And he'll be Melech, and all of humanity, whoever will be around when Mashiach comes and survives, will all be united by the Zelbe Koyach Adam, which the world started off with. That's the secret to Adam, that has the koyach of coming full circle, starting ani rishon v'ani achron. The chiddush of Mashiach is the same chiddush that was nisgala at Har Sinai. 600,000 people, vayichen sham Yisrael keish echad belev echad. Atem kriyim Adam. The ganze Klal Yisrael. Imagine so many Jews, so many opinions. Mekem meshugaveren. And what? One opinion, one heart. Leiv echad. Dosi gevein Klal Yisrael at Har Sinai. That's why they were like Adam. Atem kriyim Adam. When Mashiach comes, it'll bring us back to that Har Sinai moment where we'll all have Leiv echad lavinu shabbat shamayim. That's Adam, David, Mashiach. How can he do that? Because they have the soul and the shutfis of Adam HaRishon. It's Leiv Echad, Gematria Adam. This is good gesagt, 45. Very good. Leiv is 32, Echad is 13, Gematria Adam. That flew right in. Elavada tzarech loimer shahoyel shayisi nishmasay mamish. Let's finish off the Zera Shimshon. V'balt, I was the neshama. Hayamuchrach shei nichtev. I should be written sham. V'gam hayamuchrach litani mishanoisav. If I was going to fix it up, Adam HaRishon was supposed to. David HaMelech was supposed to live for 3 hours. Why? If you look at the Gemara in Sanhedrin Daf Lamed Ches, he was created at the 6th hour. You make a cheshbon at the 9th hour. He was sorach. He messed up, right? Right on Erev Shabbos. 3 hours up. He said Mizmor. Of course he said Mizmor. Yeah, you know why? Because he survived. Because he was able to give away his 70 years. Because that's right. The 3 hours was in case Adam doesn't sin. So then from the time he sinned till Shabbos Kodesh was 3 hours. So if he doesn't sin, then he only has to be there for 3 hours, because then his neshama is only a potential. He doesn't have to bring the world back to tshuva. He doesn't have to do the job. But once Adam sinned, that 3 hours had to become 70 years. So it's stimmt zeir lahafli. It could have been 3 hours in a sinless world. But Adam, who didn't do the right thing, who ate from the Eitz Hadas, brought Misa to the world, needed the neshama of David HaMelech to come and fix it up. And how did he do it? The Siyam HaMedrash, let's go weiter. So now, the Imkein Mechuyev on the last column, Mechuyev on the Loim Lefanecha Shira, Letaken Pegam Sha'osa Adam, V'tisratza Lefanecha Hashira Shani Oimer. I am going to fix up this, and that's what I'm doing in this world. I'm here to sing your praises. I can go through Gehenna, says David HaMelech, but I am going to be pure, kadosh v'tahar to you, and I'm going to bring out Kvod Shamayim. I'm going to bring out Kvod Shamayim by being happy, by singing your praises. Shiros v'sishboches. Every Yid who davens every single day, du bist a David HaMelech. Du bist, you are David HaMelech. Du zoks, b'shirei David avdecha na'alelcha. I will sing, I will give the praises of Shirei David HaMelech. Na'alelcha shabecha fo'ercha. I will glorify you. With who? With the words, I'm going to, you, me, and all of humanity who davens to the Eibusher, we're singing, we're a bunch of miniature David HaMelechs. A bunch of Adam Harishons who were empowered through David HaMelech to give Shevach to the Eibusher. Sigevein Atane Bar Yochai. To give him kavod, we made a shira out of him. We made a shira out of Shimon Bar Yochai. Nasa Adam Nemar Ba'avarecha. He was such a person who was devoted to the Torah Kedosha, to the Eibishter. I once heard from Rabbi Shapiro. He said, in the fight between Yaakov and Esav, unfortunately, Esav stuck his grubby hands into everything that Yaakov Avinu had. The Crusades, the Nazis, the Beis HaMikdash, going back in history. Rebbe Akiva was murdered by the Romans. Segevein Einer, who was Zeicha that the Romans couldn't touch him. That was Shimon Bar Yochai. He hid in a cave for 12 years. They looked for him high and low, but they couldn't touch him. He was pristine and pure. His neshama was so pure that the Romans and the koyach of Esav could not taint him, could not touch him. That was his helikite. So like the Rebbe gesagt, that even though his Rebbe, unfortunately, was given over and murdered by them, aber nicht Reb Shimon. The Tana Reb Shimon was kadosh v'tahar. Nase Adam nemer ba'avarecha. Why are we fasting? Why are we in Avelis? What happened during this tkufa? Let's spend a few minutes on the Maharal, and right as we said, a shtickle of Maharal. Let's do a few minutes of the Maharal if you want. Here is a page of the Maharal. You can all take. There's enough to go around. Should be. Let's do a few minutes of Maharal. Shnei Mesre Elef. Talmidim Rebbe Kiva passed away. Says the Maharal, underline, Kasher Nogu Kovet B'Chaveiroi, when you give covet to your friend, Zeu Etzem Hachayim, that is life. Like it says, K'moi Shama Beperek B'nei Ir, Bameh Herachto Yomim. He asked one of the Tanoim, how come you lived such a long time? Lo nichbadeti b'koloin chaveiroi. I never took honor from someone else's downfall. When the Eibishter created a person, and he created him b'tselem Elokim, the Rebbe of like Ibr Zogin, my Rebbe Zechron Levrach, used to say over from Rabbeinu Zerachia Halevi, in the introduction to Masechtas Brachas, the Baomer, he used to say over, Yadua shenefesh ha'odam nikra kavod. The soul of a person is called kavod. It's the man yizamercha kavod. Ura chavoidi. Ura hanevel. It's the chelik of the person that sings the praises of the Eibishter. The kavod of a person, when it says if you embarrass a person, mal b'pnei chaveiroi, it's like you killed him. You took away all the respect of a person, hostem gehargit. When you give respect to a person, you're giving him chayim. Respecting a person, every single one of us, probably one time in your life or another, have either been chalila embarrassed by somebody, or did something where it's so embarrassing, you just want to disappear. You just want to hide. You feel lost. And sometimes when someone is tomech in you, someone supports you, someone gives you what you need in support, it's like he or she gave you chayim. It's the koyach of chayim of a person. Harachta yomim, says the Maharal, by these people not giving cover to each other, so they were mechuyev, that they because I'm ungeriert. You know what it means, ungeriert? They damaged the chiyus of their friend. That's why they were killed. If you see in the second paragraph, they were killed with askara. Askara is a breathing disease. The Shiur shachayim in atam ki noitel mimenu etzem chayim. Mida keneged mida. You took away his chayim, and therefore they took away their chayim. The fact that loinagu kavod is gematria 32. The 32 days for Talmidei Akiva dying because loinagu kavod, every day was noch amida keneged mida sadin of this din. Every day.
Somebody left after 32 days.
So we talked about that once. And the emes is, it's right now seshpeit, it's late already, and to go to a whole maracha, but the emes is to give you the 60-second answer. The 60-second answer is that it's in this Maharal. Pesach, look at this, second paragraph. Uma shemesu me Pesach ad atzerech, av she'azmanu yoiser toiv mikol hazman. It's really should have been the nicest time. It's the time which is, take a look, v'yesh lefarish ki hazman hazeh atzeres moral kavod haTorah. It's the time when Klal Yisrael is counting day after day in preparation for the big Yom Tiv of Chag HaShavuos of Matan Torah. You're expected to be miyaker the Torah. You're expected to miyaker, and this time mitzat atzmai is really a beautiful time. They ruined it. They destroyed this time. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, he lived up to the expectation of giving Kvod HaTorah. The Ramban writes that from Pesach until Shavuos is like one big Chalamoid. From Pesach till Shavuos like Shmini Atzeres is called Atzeres. Pesach is also goes till Shavuos is called Chag HaAtzeres. So the Yom Tiv and the festive times from Pesach till Shavuos should have been always. It's inherent. They took it away from us by not being nagu covered. When they were nifter, then we got back the good old days. That's when we got the good old days. So the reason that we start celebrating after they finish dying is because now that the din is over, we can go back to Chalamoid. We can go back to the time of what it's supposed to look like, the covered at Torah. And that's what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai brought out. This is the grace of covered. So ma'ala zoicha zayin. Bezus Hashem Yisbarach, every single one of us, to live a life of kavod haTorah. We were given a koyach, thanks to David HaMelech, of being mamshech chiyus Adam HaRishon. Nobody else had the koyach to be mamshech the chiyus of Adam HaRishon like David, because David was a shutif with Adam HaRishon. He was a partner with him. David and Adam equals 1,000 years. David and not just a Gilgul. A Gilgul means I take over. He didn't take over. Over here he partnered up with him. Partnering. You have the koyach of the chiyus of all mankind. All mankind is what he's living. That man can bring Mashiach. That man can unite all of the people. That man, we say his words day in and day out. That's the koyach of, and you know when he was born? On Shavuos. On Shavuos, that's right, because that's when he lived this full cycle of 70 years. Because like the Torah is the Tikkun HaOlam, he was the Tikkun HaOlam together as well too. He tiken et HaOlam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu natan lanu Torah, v'hu natan lanu Shira. And he brought the tikkun of Torah with tefillah together in the most exalted way. So Metaka Zoichazayim, Be'ezus Hashem. From here on in, Rabbi Isai, the number of days left is 17. Toiv. Toiv Leiv. Now you have another Toiv Leiv. So Mezoichazayim, Tzala Gutzkai. Reb Chananya ben